Gabriel, so nice meeting you. Huge congratulations on season 2 of The Last of Us.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, I am so excited to talk to you. First off, The Last of Us, based on the hugely successful video game franchise,
Right.
The Last of Us, by Naughty Dog. I know you played those video games.
Yeah.
Are you a gamer?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, I was, grew up in the 80s and 90s,
Yeah.
so been a gamer since my mom bought us a Nintendo,
Nice.
which got stolen.
Oh no!
And we had to wait like 6 months to get another one.
Oh man. Was that this Nintendo?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so yeah, no, I mean it's, but of course they've evolved to the point where they are now, kind of rich sources of storytelling.
Yeah.
Fodder, because this thing is it's beautiful. I mean, when I played it, I had this sense of just, man, I need to rest from the game, just from these emotions that I'm feeling. Take breaks, periodic breaks from just the intensity of the story.
Yeah. Even the opening scene of the game and also the show.
Yeah.
I remember, I don't play, but I do watch.
Right.
My husband plays, and anytime he's played, in particular anything by Naughty Dog, the story is so rich.
Yeah.
And when I watched him play The Last of Us, I was never bored.
Right.
Even in the actual gameplay portions, it's such a rich and beautiful story. And I think I actually cried a couple times.
Growing up, I was kind of you.
Yeah,
my little brother was like the wizard, like that Fred Savage movie. His little brother is just this like video game savant. That was my brother.
Okay.
So I was the one like pointing and telling him what to do as he was playing Zelda and things like that.
Oh my gosh, Ocarina of Time.
Yeah,
oh my gosh, what a delight.
But yeah, it means engrossing. You sit there and you watch these chapters play out the way they do, and at times the screen will go to black, and you'll end this kind of certain part of the story, and just need to settle yourself and kind of settle your emotions.
So having played the game, you obviously know that Tommy is such a pivotal character.
Right.
What was it like? Was it kind of unnerving and a little nerve-wracking going in trying to play this role?
I'd say I had some prior experience with characters that were parts of these well-established worlds that people really cherish and love. And I played the Ghost Rider for Marvel, and of course the Terminator and the Terminator franchise, and so you just want to make sure that just treat it the way as a fan myself and as an audience member myself. I don't want to mess it up.
Yeah.
And anyone who were to take on these roles, you of course you hope for the best and you want them to succeed, so that it can just further enrich the world of the story. And in my experience, it was, you might encounter a little bit of resistance early, or just, people are just very protective of these stories, as they should be. And but as long as you treat it with care and you treat it with the respect it deserves, and you respect the world of the game or the story or the comic or whatever it is, I think that translates. And then eventually, we get to the ultimate result, which, as we've been able to see, has been really well received, because I think everybody, top to bottom, myself as one of the actors, but also our entire crew. Yeah. This was a rare instance where everyone kind of was able to access the story. Sometimes you work on these really big productions and there's this, kind of clandestine, secretive element to everything. You don't want certain story points to get out, but because the game exists, you had people in all departments who had a familiarity with it and had a love for it. So it's being made by an army of people who are all telling the same story, and all have this great kind of admiration for it. So
it's almost like a built-in family. Like you go in and you've got a familiar, there's something in common that you've got going in.
Exactly. So I think that as long as you approach it in that way, you'll do right by the audience and do right by the story.
Has it been nice going back into the skin and mindset of Tommy while you're shooting season 2? Yeah,
I really kind of never left.
Yeah.
I did go and shoot FUBAR here in Toronto. Had to keep my hair in the longer kind of, actually we came back to do additional photography for The Last of Us, and I had to cut it a little.
No way.
But yeah, no, there's so much of the character that's already kind of built in that I kind of pick and choose certain things. I feel like the more of myself I can bring into things, the better it'll be. Yeah. And this was just a great this was just a situation where the character and myself are aligned in so many ways that, I can kind of live authentically.
That's cool.
You carry a lot of things with you. Sometimes you leave certain roles and,
It's just like, it's almost like
I'm dressing like I used to when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Which is great,
Yeah.
I own, I had belt buckles I hadn't worn in forever that now are part of my day-to-day wardrobe.
Oh,
so.
that's very nice.
Yeah.
And I feel like you get I feel like you're a little bit of an honorary Canadian because you kind of wear a lot of like Canadian tuxedos.
Oh yeah.
in the show.
Oh yeah.
It's a good look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's it's canon. It's from the game.
Yeah.
So it's we weren't trying to
No. Yeah.
we were trying to like grease the wheels of the Canadian.
No.
But no, it was it's just I was looking forward to that too.
Yeah.
Because it's like the Springsteen kind of look.
Very cool.
Call it my Springsteen
era
costume.
Yeah. Now, speaking of Canada, as you said, you've filmed in Toronto. You're filming in BC, second season. First season filmed in Alberta.
Yeah.
Do you have anything? Is there anything about filming in Canada that's a little bit different from filming elsewhere?
I like the fact that in the States we just call it base camp, where you have all the trailers and everything.
Yeah.
And here we call it circus.
Oh.
Which I do like. That's one kind of difference that we have here in Canada, and it couldn't be more apropos because we're just a bunch of fancy carnies moving from town to town making movies. And I mean, it's just unmatched. I'm just so. Some of the places we've gotten to go to just have been, had I not been sent there on the day, like, would I have had the initiative to go and see these places? And we're really, really fortunate to be here. And it couldn't have been, I don't know where we would have found all the landscapes that we needed.
No.
So we're very thankful to Canada.
Now, I know you discovered something else, I think, in Canada, and that was a passion for the Calgary Flames.
That's right.
What is that?
Go Flames, go.
Go Flames. That's a fun one.
We're all right. We're doing okay. Yeah. We're just trying to, just rebuilding right now. We're in the rebuilding process. Well, when I got there, when we were shooting, we had an incredible season. I went. I think somebody saw me. I was there. I bought a ticket behind the glass.
Yeah.
And then somebody from the team saw we were there. Yeah. And then started inviting me to games. So now I go, and they're very kind to invite me to the game. I love the Saddle Dome. I had I became friends with Bret Hart while I was there in Calgary. The great Bret Hart. And as somebody who was a wrestling fan when I was younger. And then when he gave me his book and I read his book, I kind of reignited an interest, and I've been kind of following since. But the Saddle Dome was always emblazoned in my mind because he had like this big 5-on-5 tag match between the Canadians and the Americans. It was him, his brother Owen, Neidhart, Davey Boy, and who was it? There was Brian Pillman.
Yes.
So it was those five against these 5 Americans, Stone Cold, Ken Shamrock, those people. So the Saddle Dome, I just wanted to go see the Saddle Dome.
Yeah.
And I went in there and I just fell in love with the game of hockey. I was so close to it that I realized the speed of the game. Yeah. And it just took it to a whole nother level. Yeah. And so they started inviting me to games. We had a great season that year. We still had Goudreau and all those guys. Yeah. And but then they busted up the team, so we just got to figure it out now.
Listen, this is not on the questions, but our childhood sounds very similar. Yeah. Watching video games we played, my brother broke this wrist unintentionally doing the Walls of Jericho to his friend. So I'm like, wrestling fans, video game watchers?
Brett, when we were children, gave his glasses, which was a ritual that he had before he came to my little brother Timothy.
No.
Yeah. So
were you just the most jealous?
Of course. Yeah. that was like the one thing he had on me for years and years and years. Yeah. Because Brett had kind of anointed him with these glasses.
Oh my gosh.
And what was cool is he always would sign his signature. Bret Hart would sign his signature. Yeah. And he puts these hearts to represent each of his children. And so those glasses only had 3 hearts on them because he hadn't had Beans yet. Yeah. He had Blade, his son, but Beans, his youngest daughter, hadn't been born yet. Oh my gosh. So when he signed the book and he gave it to me, he had 4. He of course has the signature of the 4 hearts because all his children. Yeah. But I remember it was so weird because I opened the book and saw his signature, and there was something that had obviously been previously imprinted in my brain. Because as soon as I saw it, I recognized it. I was like, wow, because I had seen it so often when I was young.
Oh man.
But the hitmen play there. Yeah. So I love hockey now. I'm a big. I just went to a playoff game. The Vegas Knights are playing the Dallas Stars in Las Vegas. I was there for a fight over Cinco de Mayo weekend. And Noel Hannafin, scored the winning goal.
No.
and he used to play for us.
I do like the us. I really like, you are official Calgary Flames. You're calling them the us.
Well, it's cool because I was there with my buddy Mac, who Freddie Roach is my boxing trainer, who I train with in LA, of course, who owns Wildcard Gym. He famously coached Manny Pacquiao, Mike Tyson, among others, and we were all there because Freddie was training Munguia, who was fighting Canelo that weekend. And his buddy, childhood friend Mac, from back in Boston, was there. He's like, come to the game. So we went to the game. They put us in some nice seats and everything else. The whole thing was, I prefer the Saddle Dome because it's got more charm. But this thing was a production. It was like I was in a nightclub. It was like medieval times. There was like knights on skates fighting on the ice. There was like fireworks, all kinds of crazy stuff, and a lot of pomp, I would say. And then, but ultimately, Hannepin, who was born and raised in Boston, from his hometown, my buddy Mac, and who also played for Calgary, scored the winning goal. So we all had a dog in the fight.
Oh my gosh, honestly, that sounds like a good night.
Yeah.
I feel like you are part of many productions, things like this night, and then obviously The Last of Us, we're bringing it back. I am so excited about this second season. Is there anything that you're just really, really looking forward to?
Yeah, I mean, there's so much for those in the know. You know, of course, we also are gonna. You know, we going to tell the story we're going to tell, and we don't want to give away too much. But the setting is important, right? And we're in Vancouver for a reason. You know, it is a great. You know, it has all the atmosphere and the environment that we need to execute what we need to do and set the mood. And so I'm excited for people to see kind of these natural places that we're going to, and it's. And I'm excited to see it myself because it's just you know, there's this kind of really lushness to the environment that I think is going to really look beautiful on screen.
Yeah, that's going to be amazing. Well, I know you have previously discussed or chatted about how you've played a Terminator, you've played a Marvel superhero, so you've got experience in the kind of action world. How do you think you would do against an infected? You personally.
I mean, I'd be all right.
You'd be all right? Oh, shoot. Okay, that's confidence.
I mean, one?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe just one.
Yeah. What about a bloater?
Well, we have to see.
Yeah, donezo. Full done. Not at all. And then one final question. As someone who is working on this show with all of these zombies that are infected by this like fungus type situation with these beautiful costumes and these beautiful makeup that's being used on them, have you ever, and do you still like mushrooms?
Oh, that was so funny. We were doing some press event in Calgary. We returned for a screening. Rose Lamb, our producer, and a bunch of the executives from HBO were in town, and we all went to this, like, I wanted to take them to this place because they had this, what they called enlightened hot chocolate. Oh. And it was so good. I mean, it was really tasty. But I mean, in it, cordyceps, lion's mane, all these different things. And it's just like the whole thing is just a mushroom drink. All these, I guess, some antioxidants and adaptogens, or whatever they want to call them. And I was like, we've learned nothing. We've been doing this for a whole year, and we just, you know, he's just like, let's just pump our bodies full of
100%.
all kinds of fungus and see what happens. I mean, I'm a fan of a lot of various different
things.
Fungus. Just don't like it on my pizza.
Do you know what? I don't either. They get weird and shrivelly. But I'm like, I personally, oyster mushroom, which is what like the clickers kind of look like. Personal favorite mushroom. And for like a hot minute after watching season 1, couldn't do it.
Couldn't do it.
I was like, ooh.
I mean, they're all good, you know, like truffles and portobellas.
So many good mushrooms.
A lot of different ways you can prepare them. So.
100%.
But yeah, I'm still a fan.
Hey, Mary here. What did you think? Drop your comments below and don't forget to like and subscribe for more of the good stuff.